Alright, what's up everyone, to another video, Full Speed Impulse, and today we're back working on the Klx140, and today should be a fairly simple job, so we're going to get right at this. As you can see, our garage is looking way better. Finally knocked out the CJ project over here, working on the Klx140L, and we are putting some new brakes on there. So we're going to get our guy all set up here. Himself a Shinko 525 cheater tire here. It's going to be great for the type of riding that we do. So let's just get at it. And if you guys have been following us, our parts are on the way for our Klx140L swing arm, along with our brake line and a couple other knickknacks. Tires are getting mounted on the rims as we speak. So this should be coming along pretty quick here. And then we have the Klx110 build that we're doing, and that should be happening very soon because we'll be tearing the motor out of that and doing a big bore and a couple other nice little mods. Alright guys, so first things first, if you haven't taken your wheel off here, you're gonna have your axle bolt here that goes through, and you're gonna have a cotter pin and a nut. You're gonna want to pull that cotter pin out first. Using some needle nose would probably be easiest, and then obviously just take the nut off, and then you're gonna tap this through and get this to come out and pull your wheel setup out. You don't have to take your chain or take a link out or anything like that. Set your wheel to the side. Then we're gonna get right at these brake pads. As you can see, there is still some meat left on these. Like, that actually isn't horrible, and he probably does have another ride or so, but he would rather just put some new pads on now since we're right here, get them ready for the summer, and then he doesn't even have to worry about thinking about replacing these things. Alright guys, pretty standard stuff here. You want to get your 5mm Allen, and you're going to just take these two screws out here. Use a little impact driver. It's not the worst thing in the world. Make the job way easier. Whoa. That's tight. Okay, well, before we strip this out, let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so what we ended up doing is we put some PB Blaster in here and let it sit a little bit. Actually, that impact driver was pretty nice because we actually ended up putting it in as far as clockwise. Sometimes that works better if you're gonna to tighten them and then to go in the opposite direction, being counterclockwise, and then they'll break free. So that's what we did. We went clockwise and then we went counterclockwise. Impact driver, back those things out, no problem. As you can see, the threads are more on this side. So I thought maybe the threads were on this side, but yeah, maybe not. Maybe we just needed to really get at it, but it was definitely tight for sure. So I personally will put a little like anti-seize on these threads here next time they go back in. All right, so next step, guys, you're gonna want to push this cylinder in here, and just to specify, so he has never added fluid to this system. So the only reason why you would have to pop the cap off or anything like that when you push that cylinder back in is if when this was coming out, drawing more fluid this way into the cylinder, and then you added more fluid to it, topping it off. As long as you've never done that, you will be fine. And what I'm saying is, if you were to have done that, then you pressing the cylinder in would actually cause extreme amount of pressure. You'd probably blow a seal out or something. It would be no bueno. So, or you just wouldn't be able to compress this in, which would be the best case scenario. But because, like I said, he didn't add no fluid, that's why this is going in nice and easy. And you got to make sure that you kind of do it kind of evenly. Ours is a little off kilter, as you can see, so we're trying to be careful that we don't walk that cylinder cockeyed in there. But she's going in nice and easy, so that'll be good. And just to explain, I guess, a little bit more on it, is as your brake pads wear, this cylinder naturally comes out more and more, causing what presses that cylinder out is fluid. So that's where more fluid gets built in here, causing you to have less fluid in your reservoir. So that's how that works. We're going to be running the Renthal RC1 brake pads. And I believe that these are actually a very nice pair of brake pads, and I think a little bit costly. So you're going to get your brake pads out of here, and then you're going to take your pins, and I used a little steel wool and I cleaned off the roughness on the pins here. And then I'm going to use some brake parts lubricant on the shaft here, on the parts where it slides, and then on the threads, I'm going to use the fastener assembly lubricant here, ARP stuff, which is good, which is just another version of anti-seize. All right, brake pads are back in there, and your 2 screws here, I always just go snugging up, guys. I don't get crazy on tightening them, and I don't have the torque specs for them. I just go nice and snug and tight. It's good to go. And this will be the fun part, because you'll find out whether or not the brake pads that you purchase are too thick or not. Because I've heard, I don't know why it's such a common issue with just motocross, dirt bikes, 4-wheelers in general. Sometimes these pads are just too darn thick, and people end up having to sand some of their pad down just to get their wheel on. So hopefully Renthal is on their game here. All right, and make sure when you're putting your axle bolt in, before you put it in, put a little axle grease on that thing. Put a little lubricant on there, and she'll slide in nice and easy. All right, got her all buttoned up, guys. She spins good. You're gonna have to give your brake pedal just a couple pumps to get that cylinder pressed back to put pressure on everything, and then once you do, your brakes will be perfectly good. You don't have to bleed anything as long as you didn't mess with any of your brake lines or you didn't pop off your bleeder. You're good to go. All right, guys, that's a small video on how to do your rear brakes on your Klx140. And make sure you stay tuned, because we got plenty more Klx140 stuff coming, plus some Klx110 content also. But for the Klx140, we're doing a conversion from a standard 140 to a 140L, and then we're also going to be doing that TB cam with a 22 mil Mikuni carburetor and a BBR rub box. So stay tuned. That's it for today's video. Till next time, we'll see you later.